Hi, my name is Mike Roberts, and I just want to share my testimony about how Jesus Christ has changed my life. When I was a kid, I remember being picked on for things I either had or didn't have, or not being good at certain things, and a lot of it just led up through junior high and high school into a lot of anger. After I graduated high school, just after my 18th birthday, I got into a fist fight with my stepdad. And after I got into the fist fight, it ended with me getting kicked out of the house. I just remember laying in bed and I'd be crying at night. And I remember sitting there thinking, men don't cry. Why am I doing this? What kind of man am I? I have nothing, and here I am crying. Get up and do something with yourself. I remember I started wearing a hat a lot, and I would wear this hat to, in a sense, hide myself from people. I remember calling my aunt one night that I was crying, and I told her everything, and she hooked me up with a psychologist. I thought, all right, well, I didn't really want to see a psychologist, but maybe that was something I needed to do. And in a sense, it actually made me feel worse, even though going and seeing her and letting things out felt good. At night again, it was like, look at you. You're seeing a psychologist, what's wrong with you? Are you mentally unstable? I had a dream one night, and in that dream, I was flying to this job. And for some reason, my family was on the plane with me. We parachuted to this entrance. If you're going to heaven, go this way, and you have to be judged, go this way. It was a weird dream. It was very detailed. And I remember my whole family got to go straight to heaven. I just remember crying and walking this way and being scared whether I was going to heaven or hell. So I woke up probably 4 or 5 in the morning. I just remember calling my stepdad and just saying, I had this dream, and it was like, I want to accept Jesus. And so I came over to their house that night at dinner, and we discussed it, and he shared with me what it means, and I got more in detail, and I accepted Jesus at that point. I still wore the hat, I was still ashamed, I was still depressed, but I remember coming into church, and one Sunday service, one of the elders in the middle of the sermon decided to ask me to take my hat off. And when I took my hat off, I felt like I had anxiety attacks, because I felt like everybody'd see me, they were watching me, they judged me. And so I took the hat off, and I was wearing a hoodie, so as soon as the hat came off, I put the hood up. And I remember Pastor Ryan calling me and apologizing, and my first thought was, I'm never going back to this church. But after he reached out to me, it was just like, okay, it's okay, I'll go back. And he invited me to a small group session on Wednesday nights. About 3 or 4 times in, something hit me, something clicked, and I just went to Pastor Ryan and I said, I want to like people, I want to be happy. I'm tired of feeling like this. I want to take my hat off and not having attacks. And I'll never forget, I said this prayer with him, and he just prayed, Lord, help Mike take his hat off. And the next day I woke up, and every morning I'd wake up, I'd get in the shower, I'd go look in the mirror, and I would just tell myself every day, you're nothing. And that way it would just motivate me to be something. I remember looking in the mirror, and I was going to say it, and I just couldn't do it. I just said, I'm not nothing, I'm a child of God. I have a purpose, there's something for me here. Like, I'm not here for no reason. I remember going to put a hat on that day, and when I went to put the hat on, for some reason, I thought I looked ugly. So I took the hat off, and I remember writing out a list of every person that I could think of that I felt owed me something. Whether it was an apology, money, it didn't matter. I just wrote out a list, and I went all the way back to elementary school. And I had a couple of pages worth, and I remember just writing everybody's name down, writing what I felt they owed me, and just praying to God and saying, God, I forgive them. I don't want to be angry. Whatever people owe me, I wipe it out, just like you wiped out my debt. And I took a pen and I crossed out every single name individually, and I made sure I read them and knew what I was crossing out. It just was a huge weight just lifted off my shoulders, and it was incredible. And God freed me from anger through that. I used to think being a man was being strong and tough, but being a man isn't about any of that. Being a man is saying, God, take control of my life. God, I trust you. I trust that you died on the cross. I trust that you rose again. I trust that you forgive me for my sins and that you have control of my life and you have control of the world. And I really believe that God performs miracles. I think I'm one of them. If you saw me before compared to what I am now, it's just a totally different change. It's a totally different feeling. Not even a thing you see, just the way I feel. And I just have to say that, too, if it wasn't for this church, I probably would have never came to them.